Okay, folks, I want to submit a book recommendation to you. This book can plant resilience in your heart if you read it in kind of a quiet phase of life, during which you don't have access to, much money or any luxuries. Okay, the book is called One Day in the Life of Ivan Denisovich by Alexander Solzhenitsyn. I read this while I was in college. It was not assigned to me. I was just interested in reading Russian and Japanese literature and some other stuff. So it gave me some impression that you don't need much to make it through tough times. So the character Alyoshka subsists with just basically a Bible and not much else. And according to one summary I just perused a few sentences about, or from, courtesy of, I think, SparkNotes. The character Alyoshka actually learns to enjoy the pain of life in this kind of imprisonment camp because, he learns to interpret the pain as like a means by which to whip oneself into spiritual shape like a monk. So obviously you don't want to be in that situation. You want to be able to work and, make money and have some luxury. But if you're down on your luck, then having access to a book like this and some corresponding upliftment that I can instill in your heart for a time in which you may want to retrieve resilience is very useful, okay? I understand that Solzhenitsyn might be maybe a contentious or controversial figure. By submitting information about merits from him and James Stockdale and Paul D'Ingrazio and other such figures, I'm not necessarily meaning to put forth a specific political worldview or a lack of certain political values, but I happen to have gained, I think, a lot of emotional or inner riches through perusing information from these people, or, from people who seem to consistently be against certain kinds of atrocity-friendly ideas. Note that I've also expressed intense criticism of Ayn Rand, mainly in private writings, but also sometimes in these videos. So I'm not anything like some diehard capitalist or anything either. It's just I have a very deep distrust of any sort of utopian vision, and anyone who sells kind of utopianism in any form. Okay. That's stating the fact in as blunt a way as I can. Nicholas Carr once wrote a book called Utopia is Creepy, which I would say is not his best work, but I love that expression. Utopia is creepy, okay? Obviously, a hyperbolic strawman version of utopia would involve everybody getting hooked up to machines and just wireheading all day and not really exerting themselves or suffering or incurring discomfort. But, I don't want utopia, and there are various sorts of people in politics and the religious world and elsewhere who will sell you false futures that are unattainable. So here, I am not meaning to summarily dismiss him, but Elon Musk is obviously, advancing Neuralink in some way or another, and if it is seized by the wrong powers, then I'm not saying this is going to happen. I'm not proposing a conspiracy theory, but I'm just saying, if people are not carefully planning, Neuralink might well be seized by people who want to just pick up where MK Ultra left off. So be extremely careful about entertaining utopian visions and fantasies. You never know who's going to get trampled underfoot in the process of giving you some grand vision that ultimately won't even make you happy thanks to the hedonic treadmill, among other things. Alright, stay vigilant and stay cautious about the kinds of ideas you get seduced by. Alright, thank you for watching. Stay sharp and sober, and God bless you.